Hey guys, and welcome back to another Mortgage Mondays. As always, we have Mike with us from the mortgage company. Mike, thanks for coming up.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we are what, 3 weeks into July. How is it looking on Hometown Heroes?
It's going well. I mean, I thought it was going to go faster. It's going a little bit slower than I anticipated. I mean, the bulk of it was what was sitting in the kitty waiting for July 1st. I mean, like every loan I took that was eligible for Hometown Heroes, prior to July 1st, as long as it was within, they weren't closing super fast. I just kind of put them aside and just said, we'll reserve the money on July 1st. And our company had 100 of them sitting around.
Wow.
And I don't know from a loan number, but I know from a dollar perspective, I mean, it was like 30 million was gone in the first 4 or 5 days. And now we're only, the other day, there was 60 million left of the 100. And we're, like you said, we're 3 weeks into it. So it definitely, it was front loaded. It was at the very beginning, we took a lot, and now it's, I think there's still that fear right now. There's still that fear of, should I buy now? What's going to happen to the market? Is there going to be equity left in my home? What if the rates plummet and I have to refinance and pay all those, alleged fees that people think, the media has gotten a hold of, like, just don't buy now, where I think you should buy, not just because I'm in the industry. I just think that there's a lot of good assistance out there. If you don't have the money, if you have the money, it's a great opportunity to buy. You buy a house, you get a price, hopefully get the price you want.
Obviously we're biased. This is what we pay our bills, we feed our family with. But I mean, I've been doing this for 14 years, and everyone's like, oh, I've got to save up a little bit more money, and then, oh, I just need to wait rates to drop. Oh, it's not quite the right time. And it's like everybody that's waited has ended up paying more.
Mm-hmm.
Even when rates came down, they were paying more for the cost of housing.
Yeah.
And if people are out there thinking, oh, well, housing prices have to come down, it's how it's going to be. I think Zillow did a thing that there were 7.5 million people out there right now waiting to jump into the housing market. If you don't think there's going to be an almighty, like, it's going to be like the old founding fathers days where you'd open up strips of land and it was whoever got to the flag first got the house, got the land. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath. And look, I'm all for it. I mean, I'm going to make a lot of money when it happens, but
yeah, we're setting ourselves up for another big boom. Rates are, slowly coming down. They're predicting they're going to be they're predicting down into the fives. If they can get there steadily for a little while, I mean, everybody's going to be racing to the gates, and the people that waited are going to spend $40,000-$50,000 more for a house. And that's not that big of a rate drop.
They're going to have to waive inspection contingencies, waive appraisal, pay appraisal gaps. Like, it's mental. Like, I would, even if I wasn't using Hometown Heroes, I would still rather buy now and buy. Look, my investing plan when it comes to my own home is I like to buy not the crappiest house, but the best value home in the nicest area possible, because they're the houses that appreciate in value. I'd be looking at that. I'd be talking to my realtor and saying, look, I'm pre-approved for 400,000. Let's find these really nice, wealthy areas that maybe have a fixer-upper at the 350 mark. You know what? I'll live in the fixer-upper. We'll do it room by room, and we'll go buy. And by the time we finish that $350,000, $400,000 house is going to be worth 6.5, 7.
Yeah.
And look, I did it in New Jersey. I lived in a town called Summit, New Jersey, which is one of the wealthiest suburbs in New Jersey. It's prime stockbroker belt, commuter belt. The average sale price of houses in the last couple of years has gone from $995 to $1.3 million. We bought there for $365,000. And when we sold for nearly $750. So, and again, we just did bits, but as we could afford it, do the kitchen this year. Okay, we'll go on vacation next year, and then the year after we'll do the deck and we'll do the sunroom. Like, it's just not. You don't have to have everything right now done. There's something to be said about buying something where you can improve it yourself, but do it the way you want it, and then reap the rewards when it comes to selling.
Yep.
But
Yep.
we digress. We're talking about mortgages. So right now, I think mortgage rates are what? About 7.25%, 7.5%.
Yeah, I mean, if FHA loan, which is pretty popular, you're 7%.
Okay.
And
Hometown Heroes is at 6.5 still?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if you're using a bond or the TBA program. I mean, 6.5 is probably a pretty good average for them.
Okay, so if I was buying, say, a $400,000 house, what would we be looking at from a difference point of view with Hometown Heroes versus, say, an FHA?
$400,000 house, 3.5% down for FHA at 7%. Your principal and interest is $25.68. If you drop it to 6.5, you're $24.39.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like a big difference. It's what, 130 bucks a month?
It's a big difference. Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah. But what you got to also remember is you now haven't had to cover your closing costs because so it what that's going to be like another 12,000.
Yeah, or you could take that money, you could take that down, that DPA money, the Hometown Heroes money, and put more money down on your house, and that might be the difference of going, putting 5% down and going conventional and getting out of the FHA bubble.
And what would now that 24.39, that's just principal, yeah?
Correct.
Doesn't include PMI?
Doesn't include PMI. Nope.
And what would PMI be approximately on that?
On that $386,000 loan, 386 times 0.0085 divided by 12, $273.
$273. All right. Now,
Oh no, I'm sorry. Hold on. 176.
176. So that's savings on the down payment assistance with the down payment assistance eaten up by PMI.
But I mean, if you had enough to, if you use
oh, no,
that
no,
money,
no, sorry. Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, if you have good credit and you do 10% down, you're still going to have PMI, but you could have, now you could have a $350,000 loan times 0.00. Your PMI can go down to $64 a month. So then you save another $100. So it starts to add up. And PMI, now you're in a conventional loan, PMI can go away, where an FHA loan is there for life. There's just a lot of good reasons to pull the trigger down. And the biggest reason is if the house that you like happens to be out there right now and available, I hate to say you could always refinance later, but you can.
The downside to that argument with Hometown Heroes is that if you refinance, the loan's is repayable.
Yep. You have to repay the loan.
And you have to pay in lump sum straight away. So that would be the one thing with Hometown Heroes where if rates do come down significantly, would put people in a bind. But
well, no, you take the money out of the house. You take the money
I was going to say, would you just do a cash out refi and pay that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, look, it sounds almost kind of like a self-serving thing for realtors and mortgage people say, but the best time to buy is always now. I mean, I've been in the Florida market just over a year, and the houses that my wife and I were looking at when we didn't know which part of Florida we wanted to live in when it came to Hillsborough County, the houses that we were looking at that were $350 this time last year are $375, $400 this year. Right, and we're realtors and we're comfortable with where we are, so it's like we didn't know the area, so we didn't want to just jump into an area to find that it's like downtown downtown Beirut in an evening. So we wanted to make sure we were conscious where we were going to go. So when you look at an area, you look at a mortgage product. Look, the Hometown Heroes has a lot of benefits for you, especially if you need that help with the mortgage. Let's say it caps out at $35,000 as 5% of the loan. If you don't have to come up with that money, then it's if you've got 5% down payment, you do Hometown Heroes, gets you up to 10%, and you can get the seller to cover your closing costs. You're practically in a new house for nothing down. yeah, look, you're gonna pay some title expenses, you're gonna have your inspection, your appraisal stuff. But guys, it's like it's free money. You're paying it back eventually, but
And even if you have money, like I had a guy the other day that had money to put down and he called about Hometown Heroes. You don't have to do Hometown Heroes. I mean, if you have the money, it's still a good time because sellers want to sell. I mean, you need a strong realtor right now to do your negotiating. I'll tell you that. If you have a rookie realtor, unfortunately, you're probably going to get beat up in this market because
no,
right
when you
now,
said that, are you saying as a buyer or seller or both?
like if you're a buyer and you're using a rookie realtor representing you, and they're doing your negotiating with the sellers or the seller's agent, you can get money from sellers right now. These houses are sitting on the market for 45, 60, 70 days,
Which
right now.
2 years ago was unheard of.
Yeah. See, like up in New Jersey, houses are going flying off the shelves because there's no inventory. And there's no inventory up there because there's no new construction. Florida has the benefit of all this new construction. People see that bright new shiny thing and they move. People move in Florida.
No, you just gotta look at so you look in Hillsborough County, specifically at Riverview. You look at a development like Triple Creek, which is, I mean, it's been around for a few years now at the front end or on Balm Riverview, but at the back end they're still building. So when you've got people who bought 2 and 3 years ago looking to make their money back on their investment, and you're looking at some of these Lennar homes that are trying to resell for 500, but you can buy a brand new Lennar home if you can wait a couple of months for 450, 475, and then they're going to throw a whole load of closing costs at you. Right? It makes it difficult in Florida to buy, which is why I speak to so many people whose homes their original listing agreements expired.
Yeah, so it's one thing. We have inventory, so inventory kind of controls how the market's going to respond, right? So up north, there's no inventory, so people are still paying appraisal gaps and paying a lot of money. Where down here, houses are sitting on the market, so you need a strong buyer's agent to negotiate with the listing agent to get the information back accurately to the seller to wake them up out of their freaking coma.
Yeah, I mean, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I sent a referral up to a colleague in New Jersey for Dunella, New Jersey. It's a nice enough town. It's working class. It's nothing spectacular. My clients bought their house for 505 in 19, maybe 20, maybe just before, it was just before COVID. And obviously I'm not there on a day-to-day basis, so I referred the deal. It sold for 750,000 in a weekend with multiple offers, and the person who won the offer, inspection was for informational purposes only, and they covered the appraisal gap. And that's still happening in 2024. I mean, yeah, look, it was happening all the time in 2020, 2021, at the height of COVID and into 2022. But like the fact that it's still happening with so much inventory still out there is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Florida buyers and sellers need to realize, and again, it works in with mortgages, like homeowners, look, it's not 2021 anymore. Your home isn't just going to sell because you took a sign out front. You need to understand that there's a lot more negotiation involved, and you're probably not going to get 100% of your price unless you put it in just below market value. And buyers, guys, it's not 2008. You can't just turn up with a $300,000 budget and start looking at $400,000 homes. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You need to sit down with your real estate team. That's your realtor, your mortgage provider. You need to look at where you want your budget to be each month, because you can be pre-approved for 400,000, but if buying a $400,000 home means you're going to be eating ice cube sandwiches for the first 6 years, it's not fun. And once you've identified where your monthly budget's going to be, then working with your realtor, we can find you the best house for that price point.
That's right.
But no, I know changes are coming to the industry. Nothing's going to change the way we find you houses, the way that Mike works. So sit down with Mike, have a 10-15 minute conversation with them. If you have issues with your finances, if if you need some guidance on where to be as far as monthly bills and things like that, Mike's gonna guide you right. And then once you've had that conversation with Mike, come back to me. We'll get everything signed that needs to be signed in accordance with the new laws, and we'll find your home. But this team here, me and Mike, we are the right team to get you into a home in 2024, 2025, 2026. You better still be working in 2027, 2028. Like, we work
Keep your
together
job.
well because it's the same side, it's the different side of the same coin. We just want to be able to help you find the best possible house with the least amount of hassle in the shortest time possible.
So yeah, it's not that hard of a process. I mean, it's just a matter of first thing, decide if now is when you want to buy, for whatever reason is, whether you're getting married, children's getting divorced, there's a million reasons why you buy a house, right? Why you need to buy a house. If now's the time that you should buy a house, sit down, look over all your different viable options, look at the inventory, understand the differences of loan with PMI or a down payment assistance loan, or if I say you're qualified for a $400,000 home, and we worked in regular taxes and no HOA, don't go look at a $400,000 townhome with $500 a month HOA, and then all of a sudden you're eating ice cube sandwiches, like Gavin said. Like, I am not going to bury a client in payments. I just won't do it. I will tell them, like, listen, you're pushing the envelope with your debt ratio. Now, a lot of couples, if we're using just the wife's income because the husband's a self-employed contractor, and he's just like, listen, my taxes haven't been done in 3 years. I'll push the envelope with that if it's just in a wife's name, because I know I have all the husband's income coming in that we're just not using. But if it's a single mother who, we're pushing her to a 50-55 debt ratio, I'm going to tell her, we can get it done, but just hear this. At the end of the month, when you pay your bills, this is what you're going to have left to do all the things that aren't on your credit report, not your mortgage, that aren't your mortgage, feeding your family, going out, having a social life, not eating ice cube sandwiches every single day, and just painting a good picture. And they may say, hey, I have a fiance that's moving in with me. He's not on the loan, but he makes $55,000 a year. That's a totally different story.
Yeah. I
don't want people coming back to me, in a year saying, I shouldn't have bought that house. So that's why.
And I'm in the same point. I'm but from a slightly different angle. I don't want people coming back to me saying, you put me in the wrong house. Like, no, we're all grown-ups. You know what you can afford. Talk to me, talk to Mike, talk to whoever you're working with, and work within that budget. Is it worth pushing it out for the dream home that just came on the market? Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you want to stick within your budget and have a hard cap. That hard cap is what's going to keep you in that house for 10, 15, 20 years if you want to stay there, as opposed to having to speak with me in 2.5, 3 years because you got your pre-foreclosure notice, and now we're trying to work out how we can save it.
Yeah, when the rates go down and the market gets crazy and there's a frenzy, you're not going to have the option to choose. If it's time to move, you have to pick what you can get because they fly off the shelves. Right now, if it's time to move, you have options. You could look at different homes. You could make Gavin run around like a lunatic and show you 10 homes, and then you can make a good, educated decision. A year from now, if rates go down to 5% and there's a frenzy, Gavin won't have 10 homes to show you. He might show you 10 homes right now on paper, but by the time he picks up the phone to call those agents, 7 of them are gone for over asking. So right now, you have opportunity and you have choices and options. So it's a good time to get out there and look. I offer a free float down option, which is great. So if you go under contract with Gavin and you call me and I tell you rates are 6.875 and you're like, oh, I wish they were just a little bit lower. I think they're going to go down in 3 weeks, but I really want to lock in. You can lock in. And if they go down in 3 weeks prior to closing, I'll float your rate down. So I will say,
I'll say 5 than that.
Yeah. It's a safe haven kind of that we offer, which is really nice. And then if you come back to me in 2 years and rates go down to, people say, are we ever going to see 2.5% again? Probably not. But if you see 3%, 4%, you're like, you know what, it saved me $400 a month. Give me a call. If I did your original loan, I will give you discounts on all your closing costs to your refi down the road. So you have ways out. So if the house is out there right now and you need to move or you want to move, jump on it.
Yeah. So look, Mike and I have been in the industry long enough. We don't want to do one transaction with you. We want to be there for all your transactions. And we want to be there for your friends and your family's transactions. Like, we want to build relationships and help you have a stronger home life by having the right house at the right price with the right mortgage. It's all we
It's only
want.
been 25 years. It hasn't been that long.
Well, you're 25, I'm 14. I mean, that's nearly 40 years of real estate industry experience right there. So
Well,
it's
gray
we're not-
hair. Gray hair.
What do you
You
think
don't
I'm
have
wearing the hat? I haven't dyed my hair for a while. Like, even the grays are coming in on the beard.
Yep.
And on that bombshell, guys, I'm going to call it for a week. Mike, thank you very much as always for coming on with us. It's been a couple of weeks, but yeah, let's
Enjoy your week.
Let's get the next weekend, guys. We say enjoy your weekend because for us it's Friday, and Mike keeps forgetting that this goes out on a Monday. But yeah, have a good week.
I just said enjoy your week. You said have a good weekend.
Oh, I thought you said weekend. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, have a great week, guys. It's Monday. Make the most of your week, guys. We'll see you
See ya.
next week. Thank you very much.